Well, hello again, everyone. It's your man, Cowboy Star, coming back at you. That's right, we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Well, after the Cowboys' victory last Sunday over the Bears, 49-29, uh, the Cowboys have a bye week this week, and they're not in action this weekend. But this is a perfect time for the Cowboys to have a bye week and kind of assess their injuries and get healed up and get healthy for the next game. And it's a big one against the Green Bay Packers. Uh, the latest on some of the Cowboys that are injured, Tyron Smith, who's been injured since the beginning of the season, is 3 to 4 weeks from his window to return to practice. The Cowboys are saying. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to be back to start yet. He's just going to be back to practice and try to get in shape enough to play in a game. So, could be around like week 15 or 16. Hell, the whole season just about over with, and not counting the playoffs by the time he comes back. But uh, hey, we'll take any kind of reinforcements that we can get on the offensive line to bolster it for the playoffs. So hopefully Tyron Smith can make it at least through the playoffs. We'll see. Now, James Washington, the wide receiver that we picked up from Pittsburgh in the offseason, has been injured all season, has been on IR, and he's getting close to his return window, and perhaps after the bye week, he can start practicing. He's looking pretty good on the sidelines, doing the cords and everything on the sidelines. So perhaps we can get him back in the fold, and that might help our wide receiver core if he can return at least maybe in 2 or 3 weeks. So we'll see what happens there. Zeke Elliott is still nursing that knee injury that he sustained against the Lions. But Jerry Jones, in an interview with 105.3 The Fan, has stated that we go as Zeke goes. So if you're thinking that Tony Pollard is going to start and take over the starting position for Zeke Elliott, that's not going to happen, folks. Zeke Elliott is still RB1, and he will be the remainder of this season. It remains to be seen what the Cowboys are going to do with him, because his contract is up after this year. Even though Tony Pollard rushed for 131 yards in the last game, it still looks like Zeke's going to be the starter. In other news, in case you've been living up underneath a rock, Tristan Hill has been released by the Cowboys and was then picked up by the Arizona Cardinals. So good luck, Arizona Cardinals. If you can get anything out of Tristan Hill, Cowboys were sure not able to. The Cowboys did not sign anyone before the trade deadline, as everybody suspected they would not do, but they were trying to acquire Texans wide receiver Brandon Cooks. We were wanting to pick him up, but we just couldn't get the money right before the deadline hit. Of course, as you know, the Cowboys always seem to wait till the last minute when they go to signing. If they do even try to sign somebody, it's kind of aggravating. I don't know why they wait till the last minute, but that's the Cowboy way of doing stuff. They don't call anybody. They wait for somebody to call them, and that's why we usually don't end up signing any free agents. I think a lot of that has to do with Stephen Jones being in the office there, telling his dad not to pull the trigger on any kind of stuff like that. But they were close to the deal. The money end of things just couldn't get worked out. And like I say, he's got $18 million due to him next year, which in a way I can kind of understand why the Cowboys didn't want to jump off into that. Not knowing really what Brandon Cooks could do for the Cowboys. He has been good anywhere he's been, but he's been with a lot of teams, and that kind of mystifies me as to why he keeps jumping teams. But he's got around 1,000 yards every time he's been with a team, and he's been with like 3 or 4 different teams. So Cowboys still aren't making any moves, folks. They have some cap money they can spend, but they're just not doing it. I think they're holding on to it for next year because they know they're going to have to re-sign some players like one Tony Pollard, then C.D. Lamb's contract's coming up. They got to make a decision on Dalton Schultz. I kind of believe they're going to end up letting him go because our two rookie tight ends that we got in the draft, Jake Ferguson and Hendershot, are really quietly having a good season, rookie season this year, and they're starting to even learn how to block pretty darn good. So I don't see the Cowboys re-signing Dalton Schultz next year for that big money contract that he's hoping to get. That's just not going to happen. The Cowboys would probably let him go. So that's pretty much getting you caught up on everything with the Cowboys thus far. On the bye week, it's kind of quiet. There's not a whole lot going on. Some of the Cowboys are getting some much-needed rest and relaxation and spending some time with their families before they get back to work to get prepped up for the Green Bay Packers. Personally, I would like nothing better than to beat Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. We have to travel to Lambeau Field. It'll be a homecoming of sorts for our head coach, Mike McCarthy. So let's see what kind of game plan that him and Kellen Moore and Dan Quinn can get together to beat these Packers. They're kind of down and out right now. They're not playing their best ball. Of course, everybody always seems to get well against the Cowboys. With that being said, we'll catch you next time. Have a great weekend. I'm out.